Put in high-res signal pest into Google, it comes up with pictures of grapes. This has legitimately happened. I will send you pictures of grapes that came up when this happened.
Is that enough, Vince?
That's a good enough picture, right? Let's see these grapes. Get your grapes out, Tom.
Show us your grapes, love. Yeah, this came up when I searched high-res signal pest in Google. That was like the second picture.
It's not even very high res. I'm so disappointed.
This is grapes.
Right, so hello internet, boys and girls, YouTube and all you lot. My name's Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi, and I'm joined by two friends and fellow Magic players. I've got with me Thomas.
Hello.
Also known as Franconbean, and we've got Dave.
Hello.
Who's just known as Dave. Dave.
I said hello.
I know you did, just letting the Dave thing sink in.
Okay, fair enough.
Hello, Dave.
Right, anyway, so we're here to talk a bit about Magic. We're going to talk about a few things. Commander spoilers, cards of Tarkir conspiracies, and Signal Pest. Now, Tom and Dave, tell me, what is Signal Pest? What does it look like? What kind of creature is it?
It looks a bit xenomorphic, doesn't it?
No, you're going to ruin this for me. What?
Oh, I see.
Compare it. No, are you looking at the picture?
Yeah, I thought that's what we were meant to
No, you're not meant to look yet. Stop looking.
Oh,
You're
right.
fucking ruining it. What creature would you compare it to?
Oh, like, I guess to think about it, probably like a fly or something. It's a
Well, off the top of your head, you think it looks like a fly?
annoying little shit. Maybe like a locust or something.
And Dave, what did you think it looked like?
I thought it looked like a weird, like, metallic-y birdie type.
Yes,
stuff.
yes, right into my trap. Right, now we'll look at it, because I always thought it was like a chicken, like a metallic chicken, and it was like roaring and like energy and shit was coming out of its mouth. Yeah, like a battle cry. But that's not a mouth, is it? That's its claw.
Yeah.
It's like a crab.
Oh wow, I've never actually looked at it like that. Because I always instantly identified the head in the middle.
How? The
I can't
card,
unsee
how
it
did
now.
you notice that head on the card? Like,
It's
because when you look at the card, you can't see the head. It's just like a little
it's a
chicken.
mouth, and then it looks kind of, you know, xenomorphy.
Nah, it's a robot chicken. But actually, it's a crab, sort of spidery, like you said, like a xenomorph from Aliens. But
You
yeah,
know what it actually is? You know Doduo from Pokemon?
yes.
It's a robot one of those.
Yeah, I see where you're going with.
Yeah, I get it. Anyway, that was just something that blew my mind yesterday when I realised that it's actually not a chicken. Right, so what we're going to quickly do, because we didn't actually talk about cards of Tarkir at all. We speculated M15 back in July, got things incredibly wrong, and then didn't actually do cards of Tarkir because I was still recovering from how bad we were at doing the spoilers.
Now,
So what I was going to ask you guys was what your one favourite card, just one favourite card, doesn't matter what format, from cards of Tarkir was. So Tom, we'll start with you. Put you on the spot, I know, but
yeah, I don't know. Nothing's really. I mean, there's loads of good cards, but there's nothing that I've really gone. Yeah, that's my card.
what
That's
card from
fun."
cards of Tarkir have you played the most for the last month or two?
That's a good question. You see, because I'm playing Jund in standard because, you know, fuck wedges. So it's probably actually Sarkhan has been my most played
Yeah,
card.
which is fair enough. Sarkhan's pretty good, pretty powerful, so I can see why you go with Sarkhan. A bit boring, a bit dry, going for the high value
Yeah.
mythic, but... Right, Dave, stop kicking like a schoolgirl. What's your favourite cards of Tarkir card?
My favourite cards of Tarkir card is probably Dig Through Time. Anyone that knows me or plays Magic with me will probably find it weird that I picked a blue card, but because I've been playing the Jeskai deck, it's essentially been to me 2 blue mana, deal 8 damage to an opponent, which I like.
Yeah, my favourite card is Treasure Cruise, because it's done. It's like Dig Through Time, but it costs 1 less mana, and you don't get the selection, but you, in Modern at least, you get Lightning Bolts and Snapcaster Mages and other really fun, exciting things to play with it, so... Yeah, I love Treasure Cruise. I'm looking forward to playing with it until it gets banned.
So like a week or two.
Yeah, well the next banning's on for another month, right?
Yeah, January. Is it January? I think so.
Yeah, when Fate Reforged comes out.
Yeah.
Right, moving on then, the more up-to-date, the more current thing is that Commander spoilers are happening. So, let's have a look at those. Right, so far we're actually really early in spoiler season, aren't we? So we actually haven't seen that much yet. We've seen 3 of the Walkers, For those that don't know, they're doing like monocoloured walkers. With each deck is monocoloured. It's single coloured. So we've got red, black, blue, white, green. And we've seen Teferi, we've seen Freyalise, and we've seen Ob Nixilis. They're doing like characters from Magic's history and past. And supposedly they're doing one character that's not from the past. Is that right?
Yes.
They're doing one new character from a new plane.
Not necessarily from a new plane.
I think they said a planeswalker from a plane we've never seen before.
Oh yeah, no, there's one like character we don't know but has been from the past, and then one completely new character, I think.
So, first of all, what do we think of Ob Nixilis, Freyalise, Teferi?
I don't know. It's weird, and they can't make him too powerful because, you know, they're commanders, so they're going to be recast. But none of them really have a +1 that actually, or a +2 that actually, you know, does anything significant. So Freyalise makes land and War Elves, which is kind of cute.
Yeah.
And Ob Nixilis does a pretty insignificant amount of damage.
Yeah, unless you're playing like an 8-player commander game, it doesn't really do much, does it?
Unless you have lots of synergy with opponents losing life.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that it's not dealing. He doesn't deal damage to an opponent, makes everyone lose life. I know mechanically that's what it works, but it would just be nice if like he could ping the other commander planeswalkers.
Yeah, because he seems almost like the least. Well, he seems less offensive than Freyalise, because at least Freyalise's dudes can swing at the enemy commander. Teferi is my favourite of the three so far, just because his ultimate seems incredibly flashy. I mean, Freyalise has probably got the most functional one because it's close to being cast. At -6, she draws a card for each green creature you control, which in some sort of elf token deck is going to be pretty strong. But Teferi's is just stupid. It's just absolutely dumb. I've never seen anything more stupid.
In a mono blue deck, what walkers do you actually have that actually just win you the game from that?
Yeah, that's the downside of it. Well, the downside is that it's -10, but you play in the Super Friends deck, wouldn't you? A Super Friends deck that has Doubling Season in it. You try to cast them after resolving Doubling Season, get the emblem, and then laugh your way to the value bank. I don't think that's Christmas Land. I mean, you can try and assemble that combo. That could be your game plan. But
I mean, it's
fun.
If you're playing a Super Friends deck, playing a powerful Planeswalker after playing Doubling Season is a magical Christmas Land. It's kind of what you're trying to do with the deck.
And in this case, this one makes all you have the powerful walkers. Like, if there's a 4-player game, it makes them 4 times as powerful. You get stacked with abilities every turn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, seems good. So we've got a Johnny's brother,
Jazal,
which is pretty exciting flavour-wise. He does sort of like a weird Craterhoof Behemoth sort of pump, but without the trample. Which is pretty relevant because the trample is what pushes Craterhoof over the edge, isn't it?
And in mono white, you don't really have a huge amount that gives all you do is trample, do you?
Yeah, exactly. So,
I mean, you might see a what's it called in that deck? A Chroma's Memorial, because it's you know, it kind of especially with the other spoiler, which we'll probably come into in a moment, the Field Marshal. It looks more and more like it's going to be a token deck.
Yeah. And I mean, the Chroma's Memorial would be cool if the white deck is, as we were joking about earlier, like loads of dead characters. So you've got a Johnny's brother, you've got a Chroma's Memorial. You can go down that route. Hell, is there one more white legendary to be spoiled? Is there? Is it 2 legendaries and a walker? Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we got 2 more legendaries left to be spoiled for white.
1 walker and 1 legendary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we could even see if it's a reprint. Do we know if the other one's going to be a reprint? Do we know this yet?
We don't know it, but it's a fairly safe assumption based on like the last
again, it could even be
someone who's dead. Yeah.
Yeah, the angel herself. So while we're on the white subject of the white cards, Lieutenant, it's a cool keyword. It's flavourful.
Yeah, I like it. It's cool. It's not particularly
Exciting.
Like what they've done with it there isn't particularly exciting, but like my guess would be that there's going to be a handful of lieutenant cards in each deck. It's not going to be like each one has a lieutenant on each one. Like they might do that, but if they're making a keyword for it, they might add a couple of bits in.
I know what you mean. Like if it would make sense that each deck only has 1 lieutenant, but that would be a waste of a keyword. Really, it'd be nice to see some more exciting stuff because the white one's a little bit underwhelming. I mean, when I first read it, I thought it pumped everything, but it only pumps herself and gives everything else vigilance, which isn't.
So I think with Tempting Offer though. Tempting Offer, there was only 1 in each.
Yeah, I feel it also feels like it should be at a rare rarity, and I don't know if we're going to get 2 rares per deck with that. So it's a good chance. It's a good possibility that it will only be on one card, but I feel that would be a waste of the keyword. But it might be a keyword they return to with every commander product from now on. So hopefully
Yeah.
some cool.
There's a lot of design space, like a hell of a lot of design space in there.
And the blue one just has to draw you 3 cards, right? Should be basically Mole Drifter, but with a lieutenant like ability on it.
And yeah, the green one has to enable you to play 2 lands, 2 additional lands.
Yeah, that would work.
Two explores.
Black can make
I don't
everyone else
know. I
sack
don't know if there'll
something.
be any of those things, to be honest, because this
They're
one
too
currently.
obvious. Yeah, of
Well,
course.
also this one is like lieutenant. It's talking about kind of being a lieutenant is, you know, kind of a person within an army and a command position. And this one affects itself and then affects other creatures. It could just be, for example, each of the cycle could be really boring. It could be the blue one could be this gets +2/+2 and creatures you control are flying. The green one could be this gets +2/+2 and
trample.
creatures you control have trample.
I really hope it's not
yeah.
like that, but
Haste would be a good one for red.
I think you're probably right. Like, it seems like a static ability, almost like a standard bearer for the army sort of thing, which is a bit of
And they could all
disappointment if it is the
be
case.
iconic, because that one's an angel and it's white, so you could have a Hydra for green, a demon
Sphinx
for black, a Sphinx for blue, and a dragon. That's the one for red. The most
Well,
iconic creature that I forgot.
if they've got to be like marshals or like combatants, I don't know if you'd get like a Hydra wearing a banner and some like armor sort of thing. It wouldn't fit that flavour.
I want one though.
But it could be it could be any of the other
That
like
sounds
creatures.
awesome.
It could be like a snake or sorry, a worm or
It could be an elf, I guess, if it's
yeah.
going to be a lieutenant.
Or some bloke riding one of the said things.
yeah, exactly. And red could even have it as a giant. Oh, I said giant twice. A giant. Oh, a really big giant, or a dragon, or something like that. On the topic of the other colours, everything else about so far in terms of spoilers, there are some other cool things like Reef Worm is pretty cool. Like the combo-tastic nature of that card with like Kiki Jiki and things like that. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Or even
it's-
Feldon from the spoilers.
Yeah, but you'd have to take one of the decks apart, Dave, to do that. No, Reef Worm seems sweet in any deck where you get to copy stuff.
it's like a food chain kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, in a very much literal sense of the word, and in terms of the card as well, right? Because
Yeah, because the worm gets eaten by a fish, which gets eaten by a whale.
so what's the flavour there? Is the worm evolving, or is the worm? Because that's what I thought when I first read it. Then I read in the artwork there's a big fish. So the worm is getting eaten by a fish, right?
Yeah, the worm
fish.
gets killed, eaten by a fish.
And the fish gets eaten by a whale.
Gets killed and eaten by a whale, and then the whale gets killed and eaten by a kraken.
Yeah, that seems to work. It makes more sense than the really super fast hyper evolution. But again, that wouldn't have been outside the blue colour pie, so I thought that was kind of cool when I first read it, and then realised the art's just something different, which is a shame. But
And you can see the fish coming along to eat the worm.
yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh, it's like evolution. Oh no, it's just a food chain, literally. Red gets some cool new toys. Probably the best cards in the spoilers so far, right, in terms of playability. Like, Feldon seems pretty combo-tastic. Bit of Feud. Are we excited for Bit of Feud?
The thing about Bits of Feud is that what actually happens is that the 2 players who've been targeted by the feud just kill you because they can't be asked for the whole Bit of Feud bullshit.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, it's versatile, isn't it? Because you can use it for the whole politics angle of making 2 people try and go at each other, but it also allows you to target yourself, doesn't it? So you can just use it as a finisher.
Yeah.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
The other thing you could do is if you've got a combo player at the table and you need to be able to stop them, you can't kill them. So you're like, okay, you big massive aggro-y beatdowny guy.
Yeah, you pick the...
You and him, he's not going to touch you because he's just trying to combo off, and you can just smash him in the face and stop him comboing.
So you get to pick like the Rafik or the Kemba or the Reese, some sort of Voltron player at the table. On the topic of, I'm going to say the word again and vomit a little bit in my mouth, shenanigans, dual caster mage seems pretty sweet.
Yeah. I think he's 1 mana away from being legacy awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he's almost red Snapcaster mage, isn't he?
Yeah. But you can screw with your opponent's stuff as well. So your opponent goes, I don't know, Sphinx Revelation, you go, I'll have one of those as well and have a 2/2. And because he's a creature, so one thing I've learned playing EDH is that if something is a creature, it's better than if the same effect was on a sorcery or an instant.
Yeah, 99% of the time.
So abusable.
Yeah, I mean...
Because again, like, I think you're just going to have to get the red decks and the blue decks and merge them. Because the other thing, obviously, you really want to do with your caster is put him on a Deadeye Navigator.
Oh god.
Yeah, and have all the spare mana to And two more cards that I want to discuss before we sum this up that got spoiled recently. So Feldon is, I was saying earlier before we started recording, he's a beautiful card. Like, the artwork is great, the name is great, the fact that he's a character from the past is great, his mechanics fit the flavour of him having a lost loved one, the flavours hex, just all of it. He's just an awesome card, and he's also playable, which is nice, because sometimes you get these awesome flavourful cards that are mechanically interesting and then they sit at 12 mana and never get played. So Feldon's really awesome. I mean, he's one of the monocolor generals so far that I would like to actually play with. He also seems to be the most broken of a lot of them as well. He does a lot more cool things than, say, Gisser or Geralf, right?
Yeah, for sure. If he got a foil printing, I'd put him straight into Cedrus.
Is that the reason that he's not going to go into Cedrus? Because you can't.
Yes. It's like I'm like Barbaric Wasp, but for foil cards.
That's
not
tragic.
Foil, then die. It's yeah.
And the last thing I wanted to discuss was I actually really like this card, Unstable Obelisk, the 3 mana.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It ramps you and it blows stuff up. Do we think we'd play that in like a high end tuned EDH deck though?
I don't know.
Certain decks maybe.
Certain decks have struggle with things like Grixis tends to have to resort to stuff like Spine to get rid of enchantments.
Yeah, like I consider it for mono. Again, if there was a foil printing of it, I would consider putting it in my mono black EDH because I need
foils.
More things that say destroy target enchantment. Like there's Ulamog, and there's Spine of Ishtar, and Khan says exile target enchantment in mono black.
And lastly then, do we have any ideas where we're going with Fate Unforged? We can make our predictions now, and in a month or so's time, or 2 months, we can look back and see if we're completely wrong like we were last time. So, like, the obvious thing is Zendikar. Anything else? Any other cool theories you're reading about?
Like, this is just a small thing, and it's just probably a spelling thing, but there's a region or something, whatever, in Khans that's Keru, that's spelled K-H-E-R-U. It's on Keru Spell Snatcher, and a couple of other charts. And if you take the U off for it, it's Kerr, like Kerr Ridge, Kerr Keep, which is somewhere on Dominaria. It's also apparently, I looked up earlier, somewhere on Homelands. So let's just hope we're not going there.
Like, that goes to my theory that it's probably because it's all just leftover art assets, or just because of the flavour of the Mongol horde and all that sort of stuff. But it's a bit snowy and stuff. So my theory is it's like this is some sort of like period in Dominaria's history which we're not aware of, and we're going to go back in time and find out that this is like the post-apocalyptic world after the Brothers' War or something. It's going to happen. That's my theory.
Well, my theory is that all of the art of Ugin is actually just Nicol Bolas in disguise. It's always Nicol Bolas.
He's literally just chiseled his horns to be different shaped. I don't want it to be that. I want to see Ugin and then some more Elder Dragons come back.
Oh, yes.
So time travelling backwards, we could. Where are the Elder Dragons from originally? Dominaria?
I don't. I think they're from like all over or something.
Well, if
That's
it is
not a useful
Dominaria,
comment. I apologise.
if it is Dominaria, if it is, my theory isn't so shit. Anyway, I think that's enough of us talking shit about Magic cards for one video. So thanks for watching. If you like the video, click on the subscribe button. Maybe leave us a comment telling us if we're full of shit, or if you agree or disagree with us. Maybe watch us back in a month's time and tell us if we were full of shit, if we got the whole cards thing wrong. But believe me, it's Dominaria, cold snap. Good night, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.